All right, folks, we are back. I'm Derek Stewart, your host of the DC Stewart Show Podcast, featuring Isaiah and Najee. I have my kinfolk Isaiah with me. We're starting the second half. It looks like Miami's is on offense, and they're moving the ball fairly well right now. I think this half strategy is going to be pounding the ball more toward Florida's defense to kind of tire them down and so that they can't put up much of a fight. What do you think about that, Isaiah?
Well, Florida definitely has to make some adjustments because the Canes was doing exactly what they want to them, up and down the field. They had a couple stalled drives, but that was it because even when they drive stall, they managed to get a couple field goals in. So Florida really got to come out with a sense of urgency to just put something on the board because if they don't, this game could potentially get out of hand.
Absolutely. Miami is on a first and 10, third quarter, a little bit under 12 minutes. Looks like Florida's defense boxed him up and boxed him in this time around. They're going to come out swinging as well because I think Billy Napier's told his kids at halftime that they're going to have to step it up this half because if they don't, they're going to lose. And Miami's just got to take care of what they need to take care of, especially from a strategic point of view where they can impose their will throughout this second half and go ahead and get a victory and start preparing for Florida State because I think that's going to be a huge test next week up in Tallahassee. Looks like there was a completion on Carson Beck to the tight end. Or actually, I believe he's a receiver, number 0. They've got some talented receiving. I'll just keep stressing that receiving core for Miami is just so talented. This is a special class, and these guys are all young, so they're going to be together for a long time, I think.
Yeah, they run really crisp routes too. They catch with their hands, what I love because most guys, when you don't catch with your hands, you have a tendency of letting that ball hit your body and it ricochet once it hits your pads and it'll bounce right out of there. So when you catch it with your hands, you just bring it in as
Absolutely.
opposed to letting it hit
Absolutely.
your body and try to trap it.
Looks like a Florida player is down right now. It's 11 minutes, 20 seconds to go in the second half. So let's revisit coaches on the hot seat. Let's first and foremost talk about Mike Gundy at Oklahoma State. It looks like Tulsa went into Oklahoma State last night and they defeated Oklahoma State, and a lot of the Oklahoma State faithful is pretty ticked off about this. Mike Gundy has been with this team. He's had the longest tenure of almost any coach at Oklahoma State. His contract was reworked last year, and it looks like if they were to, can him and get rid of him, they would owe him $15 million, which by most standards is not a huge amount of money to pay out to a coach that's that's an exiting coach because they're going to have the money to bring in a good coach, you would say, right?
Yeah, but $15 million, they'll take that out of someone in Bruce's back pocket. I remember seeing Texas A&M pay out money. I mean, these guys don't care about that. It was someone in the neighborhood of $90 million they had to pay out. And some other coaches here get these buyouts for $50, $60 million. If you're not working out, they're going to get rid of you, man. And they don't care about the
Absolutely.
buyout. They're just going to somehow get the numbers together and pay you and move on to the next coach because winning is everything. And when you can't sustain a good season and play with a sense of urgency and play at a championship level, almost every year they're looking to replace you. So you just really got to have your coaching staff together. You got to have a good nucleus of coaches and continue to win at least 10 games a year. If most of these clubs, if you're not winning 10 games a year, they're looking to get rid of you. So because that's the only way you can get to a championship. You got to win at least 10 games to be even in a running with the playoff system as well.
Well, I'm gonna just go ahead and make a bold prediction. I believe Oklahoma State is gonna part company and they're gonna part ways with Mike Gundy. I don't know exactly when they're gonna part ways with him, but it looks like the fans were chanting for him to be fired from Oklahoma State, and I've never heard their faithful kind of go after Mike Gundy like this before. He's always had a pretty stable job, you know. His job was never up for discussion for the amount of time that he's been there, as far back as I can remember. But it looks like there always comes a time where there's going to be a separation at some point in time, whether you leave on your own or whether they help you up out of there. And I think this time it might be it.
He had a bad season last year where it seems like they was giving him an opportunity to kind of straighten it out, and he did not. So they're probably putting together some numbers to go ahead and move on without him, because these teams are, made by revenue, and
Absolutely.
they gotta continue to bring the money into these
You have to put
universities.
you have to put fans into the
Yeah,
seats. If they stop coming, you're not going to gain any revenue, right?
changes it all. It's a game changer when you can't win. So they're gonna part ways with him. I can see that in the very near future.
Oh, for sure. If they don't do it as early as this coming week or so. Looks like Miami did get the first down on a 4th and 1. Oh, he broke away. He's gone. Touchdown. He broke away. The running back touchdown, Miami. He went into the pile. I guess they didn't blow the whistle in time, and he broke out and he scored. No flags.
I thought they blew the whistle.
Did they blow the whistle?
They,
Maybe they did. Yeah, they blew the whistle. So that was a great way to come out of that pile, though, because they had it right there. And, well, they really never stopped his forward progress. You have to look at that, too. Well, you could hear the whistles blowing, though, I believe.
I think that was immature, because where they were blowing the whistle, his feet was still moving.
His feet was still moving, and the pile was still moving
was a
forward.
stalemate. Yeah, but that stalemate, he wasn't in that pile. He was not in the pile.
Exactly.
I think that was it, but that was a premature of the whistle being blown.
I think so, too.
He was on the side of the pile.
So it looks like Shannon Dawson is mixing up these runs with a occasional pass play, where they're getting misdirection going in certain cases too with Beck, that he could make a decision. Like here's a perfect example. Looks like C.J. Daniels just caught a play for positive yardage. Still another third down though. If Miami score on this one, I think Florida's kind of going to be in a heap of trouble, I believe. It's going to be hard clawing back in if Miami get a touchdown out of this one, this particular series. Florida's defense is still playing hard, though. They're still playing off the charts. Their defense is keeping them in the game.
Let's see what they're going to do with their adjustments, even on offense, because Florida has not got the ball back yet from the half, so we'll see.
Right, incomplete pass, Carson Beck. He throws it really hard. I mean, that ball zips in there really fast and really hard. So it's 4th and 4, and it looks like they might have to punt it away because they're on their side. They're on their own side of the field, but it's still too far for a field goal, I believe. He has a spiral though, man. Carson Beck has a super good spiral. I love it.
Well, he put some spunk on that ball too, man. When he threw
Yeah,
it,
he does.
that was a tad behind him. That was behind behind Daniels Jr.
Correct.
That ball was behind him. It was hard, and it was behind them.
Well, you know what? The Canes defense is still, they just need to continue on with what they're doing.
He stepped in the end zone with the ball. Wow.
Yeah, but it went over the white end zone line, so it's a touchback. So getting back to coaches on the hard seat, it looked like Deshaun Foster was fired last weekend along with Virginia Tech's coach Brent Pry. He did a fairly decent job the first few years he was at Virginia Tech, but it looks like Virginia Tech, the school is going to invest extra money into facilities and extra money into their athletic program to attract a really good coach to come there to coach the football team. What do you think about that?
But they can build anything they want. It's not just the facility. You just gotta. It's like is the location. Is the location of it all. You gotta really be in a good location for these kids to want to be there. These kids are smart now. They want to go to a place where they can hang out, in the city. And it's not about
Right.
just going to a college. They want to have a fun city to go to. They want a city where it's got a certain degree of a nightlife there and fun to be around. It's not just like going to college. It's nothing like that anymore.
Right.
These kids are understanding how it is to be in a big city that's vibrant, has a lot of stuff to do. And if you look at it, you get a kid that goes inside of a school that has a good nightlife, has a bunch of things going on, and they wind up staying there. They don't even go back home. I know so many of them did it. They go to school in a certain area and then they don't go home. They'll either they graduated and they'll get a job in that city and stay. And that's one of the most attractive things for these kids now. They're making tons of money now, most of them, and when they don't make that much money, I can see them making a decision to go back home. But when you're making tons of money, you love the city that you're in, you got a relationship with the community and all of that stuff, so they will wind up staying there. So just them building a facility with a weight room and all that type of stuff,
Well,
it
I
takes
think they
sometimes
already
years to build.
currently have good facilities. I just think what they're trying to do, because Virginia Tech is a small school. Most people don't realize that Virginia Tech is a small school in Blacksburg, Virginia. I knew a person that graduated from Virginia Tech, and he said the school is not a really large school. So what they're trying to do is attract athletes and coaches to want to come there, because the time of the Michael Vick era is long behind them. It's far behind them, when they were able to get him to come.
University of Miami.
Him and
University of
his
Miami
brother,
is the
Marcus Vick.
Yeah, what we were saying is we were talking about the size of the school. University of Miami is a relatively small school, but the city is off the rails. There's always
Well,
something to
you're in a
do.
major market. You're in a major media
Yeah.
market, so that makes a huge difference in itself.
Yep.
So it looks like Miami's on defense, 1st and 10, Florida. Florida's going to try to establish the run. Looks like they running back just got some yardage. Looks like he's still running, and he's still running, and he's still running. So that was one of the biggest gains of the game for Florida's running back. Looked like it was just a toss sweep. He turned it up, a body on a body,
Yeah.
and he was able to cut back and gain a lot of yardage. That was the most yardage I think they gained by running in the game.
Yes, it is.
Now they running again. They're going to try. Napier's going to try to establish the run. I think what he's going to do, that might be his way of,
Going to try to
trying to
go
get
right
back
at
into the game.
Because there's nothing like trying to smash mouth. You go right at them. It's going to wake up the Canes and make sure them guys are not asleep, because I always said this: the Gators are not giving up. They're not going to bed on this thing. They think they can win. They did the same thing with LSU. They threw a lot of
Yep.
interceptions, but they did not quit. And this game here is no sign of quitting either.
Yeah, it's some heavy hitting out there too. Them guys are hitting hard out there. Them youngsters is really, really tagging each other on both sides of the ball, especially on the defensive sides, where both teams
Yeah,
is they stepping it up,
they're
man.
opening this thing up. Ooh.
That's a pretty big
If that
hit.
number 7 would have wrapped up, man, that was a good hit. He just did not wrap up. So this is the thing that's building these guys' confidence level up too.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Because
They need to push him back and make him step back. Now another tall sweep. Miami's got to shut that down on defense. They got to, just like they did in the first half. So here's the thing. We had a commenter in the first half that said that it's not Miami's defense. It's just how bad Florida's offense is. Do you agree with that?
No. Miami got a good defense. I mean, Florida offense got their downfalls, but Florida really do have a good team. Their record don't show it, but Florida has a good team. We seen them last week when they played LSU. LSU, has a good team, and they was right in the thick of things with even 5 interceptions. And then that last interception is the one killed them. But before then, they really was playing some solid football, man. And their defense is pretty damn good. They legit. So I'm right now is not really comfortable with a 13-point lead with these guys,
especially with the way they're moving the ball right now. Their running game is really they're gaining huge chunks of yards on Miami's defense. And I agree with you. I thought Miami's defense did a fantastic job in the first half of shutting them down, and they got to do that. They got to pick back up where they left off because they're just tons and tons of yards.
They moving this ball rapidly now, and they running right at Miami.
They've gotten all of these first downs. I think 3 first downs in a row, and they're down in scoring position right now inside of the 20. Or inside of 15, shall I say.
Who knows? And who knows? That could have been part of their strategy to come out on the second half and pull this thing, because the stuff that they're doing right now, they wasn't showing any of this type of offense.
That's right. And, it keeps Miami's offense, high-powered offense, off the field. So that's another plus for Florida. I got a feeling that Miami's they're gonna stiffen up and they're gonna get a turnover, at some point. I feel it coming.
Well, this is a backbreaker for them if they can stop them from getting this first down and stop them, even just holding them to a
it's
field
fourth
goal.
down. It's fourth down. It's like a 4th and I want to say he gained a yard off that one, so it should be maybe 4th and 2 because it was 4th and 3, and Napier might go for it. Yeah, 4th and 2. So I think Napier is going to go for it, and if they could stop this drive, it'll take the sail out of Florida because they drove so fast and so hard to get downfield. So they got to stop them. That's all. They're capable of that. Miami's defense is capable of that.
Napier called his own plays, it appears, too, DC.
I think he does too. I want to say that I had read some information that part of his, shall I say, improvement plan from last year was allowing someone else to call the plays.
Oh, okay.
So let me go ahead and put that in because I'm curious to know myself. Does he call his own plays still?
Because look at him now. He just called a timeout, and he's the one that's on the field doing it. So I'm assuming he called his own plays.
I think he is too. So, again, I'll just say this for any coach or any type of coach at the college level, especially at those top 20 schools, top 25 schools. If you're not measuring up and you're not changing with the times, you're going to fall behind and you're going to be looking for a job. You might not have a problem finding another job, but you're going to be looking for one. I can promise you that for sure.
Yeah. I think the old way of doing things, getting kids from high school and grooming those kids, those days like that is of days of the past. They're looking for kids who's experienced, already been there, already jumped the portal, and that's happening more often than not. I see it all over the board now. Kids are just taking off because they see better opportunity. A chance to play with their buddies, they get a chance to make more money. It's just a way of life now. I mean, I think it's better because you can get an opportunity to go to a place where you really want to go, and especially if they accept you, because they don't really have to accept you coming there either. And
True.
you can go greet people players. You can steal other people's players. And
Well,
there's
I'm pretty sure
always
that's happening. I mean, at some schools, and I mean, I was listening to Carson Beck. He said he didn't even meet Mario Cristobal before he decided to come to the program. I mean, he decided just to transfer to Miami without even sitting down and talking to Mario Cristobal. At least that was the conversation that he was having this morning with Desmond Howard on College Game
well
Day.
in Beck's ordeal. I can see why he can want to come to Miami. First of all, you at Georgia. And if you can understand the type of offense that Miami runs, he fit in like a glove. I see why
He
he wanted to
does.
come here. All of these plays that they're running, it's
It's
to
a
his
pro
strength.
style offense. It's a pro style offense.
And it's
So
to his strength.
it's already grooming him for the NFL. I mean, just like Cam Ward and all of those other guys that came through Miami's program, they've run that
Yeah.
pro style offense. So the play calling and some of the dynamics of the NFL play calling kind of cross breeds with the college level play calling in a lot of ways. It might be some different schemes, or it might be some different, here and there as far as the kinks goes. But I just think overall that his choice of coming to Miami basically put him in a top 5 opportunity to go in the top 5, if not 1, 2, or 3 in the NFL draft next year.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
he's probably going to be a Heisman candidate. If he gets by Florida today and Florida State the next week, I think it's going to be, yeah, he made it. He got the first down. He reached over, the Florida running back got it. Or was it DJ Lagway? I think it was DJ Lagway ran with it. Yeah, he ran with it on a quarterback round the corner. Yeah, he reached over and got the first. He's a big quarterback, so he should be able to get you 1 and 2 yards, definitely rushing like that anyway. So it's a 1st and 10 down on the 13-yard line, maybe, of Miami.
Yeah, they're right around the 13. They're right around the
Of
13 yard
Florida.
line.
Yeah, he's running with it now. Oh, he got
Yeah.
lit up on that one though. They better be, and look like the defender is hurt. Looked like the defender took the worst of the blow because, yeah, he's coming out. Number 7 is coming out. That was a pretty big blow on him. Yeah, I think that defender, he got his bell rang on that one. DJ did too, but DJ got back up. He's just going to be running with the football now. He's probably going to be using his legs a lot more like you predicted.
That's what he's going to do.
Yeah, he's going to use his legs this second half because he knows that's probably one of the few things that can... Oh, look at this running back bounce off this guy. He scored. Touchdown. Florida. He bounced off that first pile and tackle. So it's 13-6. Well, you keep your defense out there that long. I mean, it's on either side. It's going to be opportunities for the offense to.
This is a clear momentum swing because you open up something like this on your second half. It clearly, the defense could not stop them. I think I would have called a timeout in that drive to get my guys settled down because they was not settled down. Once Legway started running the ball, they needed to make some adjustments because it was something that they didn't see in the first half. Legway did not even attempt to run the ball in the first half. He run out of the pocket a little bit, but not try to advance the ball down the field. And I know that they said, let's do this. Let's try this in the second half to get these guys to slow down a little bit, because Miami defense was so aggressive with the penetration in the backfield and all this. But now
Right.
that quarterback will make you stop all of that. And
True.
now it's proved successful. They drove right down the field and scored. So now the offense, Miami's offense, got to at least get down there and drive
Well, they
down the
need to
field
they,
and
they
give
need to
defense a
answer
rest.
that. They need to match that intensity and answer that on offense, because it looks like Florida's got the momentum now, and they're gonna have to shut that down. You know.
Yeah, this is football at its best, man. You think things going one way, and one good drive can change it all. And I said this. You can play with that little 13-point lead if you want to, and let these guys just hang around, and all they need is a one touchdown, and they really back in this game, because they get another one, they'll be ahead. And I
That's
said
true.
this in the first part
7
of
more
the
points, and
segment.
they'll be ahead by
Yeah.
one. Looks like South Carolina and Missouri is playing, and looks like Missouri just broke for a touchdown. The South Carolina lost last weekend, and here is Texas and Sam Houston. It looks like Arch is lighting up the skies in Texas, 45-0 against Sam Houston. And it looks as though Colorado comes on shortly. Coach Prime, they play in Wyoming tonight.
Arch Manning is having a field day with these guys.
Oh, Florida just intercepted it. Florida just intercepted it. Yeah, I think that defensive back kind of deceived Carson Beck into thinking that he had that guy open.
Oh man, this is a huge swing, man.
It is. If they
It's a
score this
huge
time
swing.
around, yeah, the defensive back just baited him in and stepped right in front of it.
Yeah.
I thought Malachi Tony was more open than Daniels were.
Well, you had a couple players underneath was open.
Yeah, because Malachi Tony came underneath on a skinny post, I believe.
Yeah.
There's no worry. They shouldn't be. It's nothing to be worried about in the sense that they got to just recover, and their defense has just got to hold this time. They can't let them score. See, the running backs
Well,
this little 13. He's relentless. He's relentless.
We're going to really see the character of Beck now, because I know when Ward did something like this, he was eager to get back on that field if he made a mistake like that.
To make amends for the mistake.
These guys getting 6 and 7 yards of carry, that's not good at all.
No.
You look like he got 6 yards out of that carry. And they're doing somewhere like a hurry up offense too.
Well, that's what Billy Napier wants. He wants to, that he likes that hurry up offense, just like most coaches do. They call it tempo. I mean, you keeping the tempo going, and it doesn't give the defenders or the defense time to kind of go to their areas of assignment.
They really can't see anything. They can't adjust to the play, and they can't line up in the proper manner. There's a lot of things that goes to throw a defense off when you hurry up like that.
They finally stuffed him on this one. They stuffed the running back on this one, Florida's running back. You can go to the well one too many times, and then the defense will adjust. So I think that's what that was. The offensive lineman just didn't get any push. They didn't get any push in the trenches. So Miami was able to back that up. Looks like Michigan beat Nebraska at home, 30-27.
I was thinking they were going to win that game. I watched a little bit of it.
It's 4th and 3. He's going for it on a 4th and 3 again. They need to stop this one. They need to put a stop to this one with Lagway running.
They are feeling themselves now because they think they
He
got the
caught it.
momentum going their way.
He caught it. It's a 1st and 10. The receiver looked like he knocked out, but he caught it. He probably got the wind knocked out of him.
The Gators are playing for keeps, man. They're not giving it up. Yeah, they playing for keeps, man. They're not giving up, and that's one thing the Canes got to understand, that these guys are not laying down.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't lay down last week, and they're surely not doing it this week.
Oh, they lit him up. I mean, I think he got the wind pretty much knocked out of him. If you look at that blow into his kidneys from behind, that was a heavy blow. He'll be all right, though. We hope he's all right. J. Michael Sturdivant, he used to play for UCLA, and he went into the portal. He's a very good receiver, super, super talented receiver. J. Michael Sturdivant. He had a really big game against USC last year in the crosstown rivalry. So I hope he's all right.
He'll be all right. He just
he's okay. He's a damn good receiver. And he held on to the ball, so that was the most biggest thing and important thing.
He's all right. Well, them Gators are coaching their rear end off now because they got something going on. So the Canes need to really regroup now and
he's going to the tent.
Stop.
Look, well, he's going to the locker room. It looks like. You said it earlier that if they keep letting Florida hang around, Florida was going to probably catch fire and start to do this type of thing. And it looks like Miami might be on the other side of it with their defensives might be gassed a little bit too, staying on the field as long as they have.
I've never been comfortable with a 13-point lead is so lopsided because all they need is a touchdown and hold you and then score again and they're ahead. So those times when they kick those field goals is, they didn't. Oh man. Well,
so it's 2nd and 6, and they're down into Miami territory.
They're in the crunch. They under the 20-yard line. Oh no, they're not. I thought they were.
Looks like they got Lagway now. Oh, it's a flag. It's got to be a hole. You got to think that this flag is a hole somehow, some way.
They've been holding most of the night, and I'm looking at plenty of holes now.
Messador.
They're holding like crazy. Yeah, they've been holding like crazy, but gladly they called it for change.
Yeah, it looks like number 77 was holding in the middle. He grabbed his jersey, the defender's jersey, and everything.
Yeah.
So they should just back him up, push him back. 3rd and 15. They backed him up. Now Miami needs to get aggressive and stop this push forward. But Billy Napier might go for this again because he has nothing to lose. I mean, their season is on the line tonight. I think for Florida, being 1 and 2, they're coming off the field now, so I think he's going to try a field goal. I believe.
Well, field goal and bring it within 3. I mean,
absolutely.
This is the scary part about it. And see that interception was a positive for them because they got 3 points out of it.
If they get the 3 points, yeah. This is going into the 4th quarter now.
That was a quick quarter too.
It went by really fast, right?
Yeah. Both of them had the ball twice, and the next thing you know, it's the 4th quarter because they were running like crazy. Both of them, especially Florida, ate up a lot of clock on this in these last 2 series. They had the ball.
Absolutely. So you are currently tuned in to the DC Stewart Show Podcast along with McKinfolk, Isaiah, and Najee. Najee will be back with us on Monday for a sports weekend recap. So we're glad to be here. hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and you're helping us with that algorithm, and that algorithm has really been good to us anyway. So, how you feeling, partner?
Man, I feel great. I'm just kind of down because I seen this happening. I seen this thing play before, where you let a team hang around, you mess around and get to the point where you get to the where you just say we got them down, and you don't play all the way through. These guys score a couple points, get a field goal, a touchdown, and boom, they're right back into it. I seen them play last week. They played against LSU last week. The quarterback leg way through 5 interceptions, and they still only lost by 10 points. And who does that? That means that defense was playing ball. That got 5 extra opportunities to score, and
Yeah.
they only lost by 10 points. And I said, wow. And this is the thing that's happening tonight. The only difference is he had thrown no interception. And that's the
Right.
scary part about it. And I want the Hurricanes to really think about what they're doing. They better start playing some smash mouth and start stopping these guys, because otherwise they'll be on the losing end of this thing.
Well,
Yeah.
even if they win tonight, they're going to have to make some massive adjustments to play Florida State. I mean, because Florida State is going to be a little bit more difficult to control than Florida, because Florida's not doing as well this year. They got a good team. They have a good defense. Lagway is still feeling his way through with the offense, but they're going to have to step up their game against Florida State up in Tallahassee next week, and they can do it. Trust me, if anybody can do it, they can do it.
Well, I just feel like that they need to make some stops. They need to make some drastic
They
stops,
have to make
and they
stops.
need to score. And it
Yeah.
can't be these field goals, because Florida is not giving up. I
Mm-mm.
see no sign in quitting these guys. I thought they was going to get fatigue, and with this humidity here in South Florida, that it was going to wear them down, but they're not stopping. They got a good, push in the second half, and they made their adjustments, and now it's paying off for them.
Right.
Yeah.
So here's another one for you. I have, it looks like Oklahoma, it was a very, very good game, and a close one. It was closer than most people thought. It was a 24-17 win for Oklahoma. It looked like John Mateer came through again for his team when they needed him most. Do you think Oklahoma needs to be elevated up into the rankings next week, which they'll come out on Monday? I believe they come out on late Sunday. So right now it looks as though Ohio State, Penn State, LSU, Miami, Georgia, Oregon, Florida State, and that's the AP, Texas, Illinois, Texas A&M, and Oklahoma's at number 11. You think Oklahoma should be pole vaulted up into the top,
They're going to
say
drop
5,
somewhere in the top 2.
top 10,
Not 5.
not 5?
Yeah, 5. Yeah.
So let's
They're not
just
going
say,
that
I'm going to
far.
give you a perfect example. What would you say if Miami barely wins this game tonight? Should they still sit
Well,
at 4?
They still should sit at 4. Now, if they fool around and get beat,
Oh, well, if they
they'll
get beat,
probably
they're going to
fall out of
drop,
the
of
top 10.
course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Georgia,
Yeah.
I think, would move up if Miami lose tonight. So right now they're going on a 4th and 3 again. He's been gambling all night, and it's about time that they got him. He didn't make it. He didn't get it. It's Miami's ball. He didn't make that 4th and 3. They tackled him before he was able to get the ball over, I think. It's Miami's ball. Yeah, it should be Miami's ball. He didn't get to that yellow line. See, when they caught him and they tackled him right here, he went down. He was down before the ball even touched the yellow line. So that,
he couldn't even extend.
yeah, he
That
couldn't
was a
even
rusty
extend
play,
it out
you
because
know.
of the defender was able to grab him and pull him down in a way that he couldn't stretch out to get the first down. They're gonna measure it. He should come up short. If the line,
He's about a yard short.
if the yellow line is at, yeah, he's short. He's short. He's about a yard short, just like you said, half a yard. Well, Billy Napier, once again, I'm going to just say this once again, he has to go for these 4th down plays this half. I mean, this is the fourth quarter. This is the game. The game is on the line. So Florida is sitting at 1-2 with the threat of going to 1-3, just like Clemson, because this is the first time in Dabo Swinney's career that he's went 1-3 for Clemson.
He's going broke, man.
He's going for broke. So Miami has to turn this into points. They have to score. They can't keep giving the ball back to Florida.
He knows his defense is doing well, so he would gamble this way. Because now, look where we are. We still got our backs against the wall. The Canes got their backs against the wall because they're on the 30-yard line in their own territory.
And this was a no gain to C.J. Daniels. It was a pass to the flat with no gain. It looked like Florida sniffed that one out. They were trying to do a quick pass to the flat.
No, he lost yards on that one. He lost yards on that one.
Yep, he sure did. So Miami's got to stretch the field with these guys. They got to go for it, and they got to put it out there, and they need to stretch the field. That was a pretty decent play. He was able to get a lot of the yards back, C.J. Daniels.
To me, the Canes are not getting their blocks like they were in the first half. I don't know whether they tired themselves, but they not moving down blocking like they were, and I was doing all that bragging on them, but they're not getting these blocks like they did. If you look at how many bodies was on the receiver that last play, that means there was a lot of blocks being missed. It was 3 players was there around that ball.
Yeah, it looks like Miami's getting ready to give it back to him. Beck threw a incomplete pass, so Florida's going to get it right back. I think they're stunting. Florida's defensive coach is stunning. He's stunted on that one. He had a defender coming in from the outside. So, that confuses the blocking schemes. I mean, that confuses blocking for offensive linemen. They just can't get anything going. I mean, on offense.
Yeah, but the stunt man wasn't the one who jammed the play up. They just got bulled. They just got pushed around.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are being confused now. What they're doing is a circle where the guy would take on a block, and then the linebacker would rush in once that opening appears.
Mm-hmm. So here's the thing. DJ Lagway, he might have the ball in his hands in these last 10 minutes that he's either going to step up or he's not going to step up. Either or, I think.
He burned up a hell of a lot of clock the last time.
Oh, for sure. I mean, they burned up pretty much the whole entire third quarter. I mean, Florida's offense did. So that's not a plus for Miami.
They can't even sustain a drive, so that's surely not a plus for Miami. When you got their offense is moving the ball up and down the field, and the Miami Hurricanes can't move the ball at all, and then they go down there and score, they could pretty much burn a lot of the clock up and leave you nothing to be able to capitalize off of when you get the ball back.
Sure. Well, this is my analogy on this Miami thing right now. Miami is really got a good team. We've talked about that. They have, their dynamics of playing football this year as opposed to last year before last is like night and day. But they have to stay undefeated. To me, they need to stay undefeated and not lose a game. Now, if they do lose a game, they're still in it, I think. But they need to stay undefeated on past Florida State, I think, in order to be in control of their own destiny. Let's just say that. Does that make sense to you?
It makes all the sense. And that's the way you control your own destiny, by being undefeated. Once you are not undefeated, you put your season in the voters' hands. And that's not a place to be. And even we just talked about Florida State that were undefeated, and the thing still got snatched from under them. So you better be undefeated, because you got more bargaining power when you are.
Yes. Because if you look at, if they lose one and then you look at 5 or 6 other teams lose one, then it becomes a situation where Miami would have to win the ACC championship, which is their conference, to be a slot in. I mean, a shoe in other words. Because Clemson's out of it. They're 1-3 now. So even Dabo Swinney himself said that they're out of it. They don't have a chance this year.
Oh, they know that. They know that. They know that because I can see them losing a couple more games. So they know they're out of it. He's done came to grips with it, and I really never seen that look on his face of sorrow and disappointment like it was today in his press conference. I've never seen him like that.
Oh, I know. He's always been overly confident, right? I mean, he's never kind of an arrogance to his confidence. Hey, I got it under control. My team is one of the best teams in the country type of thing, So here we are, Florida. Miami's defense is going to have to step up to the plate and get a turnover. That's what I see. Yeah. At this point in time in the game, they need a big play. They need a turnover to stop Florida in their tracks.
Well, they can't keep letting these guys get 5 or 6 yards of carry, and that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because that Lagway guy right there, Lagway, is still scary to me. I'm telling you, because he's poised, he's not rattled because they hadn't hit him. They're not hitting him.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they're hitting him and having him pressure and throw the ball. Now I'm thinking he's coming with a pass. He's done opened up the run already.
Right. Yeah, I think this might be a pass, or this could be a DJ Lagway keeper, where either he pitch it. They may run the same play to different side. I mean, to the opposite side. They give it the look like they're going to run a different play, and then they turn around and run that same toss sweep pitch. We'll see.
Now, see, they got the confidence of knowing they can run the ball on the Miami Hurricanes now.
Oh, they got him, though. He's down. This is he lost yards, it looks like. So Miami, they're going to have to punt the ball back. And I don't think Billy Napier should go for it on this one. They got to change sides again.
He's not dummy now. He's not dummy. He's still got 12 minutes.
Here's the thing.
He's not a dummy.
Here's the thing about Miami's offense. Shannon Dawson has to create matchups that is going to give Miami the advantage with the play calling in this series. Miami has to get points out of this series. They just can't.
They got to. They can't keep messing around. I mean, this is like the 5th series that they had the ball, 4th or 5th series where they hadn't.
And they came away with nothing. They came away with nothing. They've just been punting the ball back and forth, And that's just not going to be the way. Well, it's a flag now. Let's see what the flag does.
That's a late flag. What was it for? Was it for he called a fair catch and they hit him?
I don't think they hit him. I don't recall seeing him hit him. Looks like the defender shoved a Miami player. I mean, a Florida player into Malachi Tony, because I think Malachi Tony ended up going down. I don't know if the ball touched him or not, but
why was the flag thrown? They can't do anything. They can't afford to do anything stupid, man, because their backs against the wall right now.
Well, here's another thing too, that Michigan saved their season today by going to Nebraska and taking care of that business. Yeah. They took care of that business today. They got that handled, and Sharon Moore is not even coaching. I mean, he
was not coaching.
Correct.
I seen him before the game, but I didn't see him throughout the game. Mm-hmm. They went over there and whooped Nebraska, man, and I was really surprised that
they gave him a real good whooping.
Yes, sir. I watched portions of that game, and I was flicking back and forth. But man, I was glad that they was able to pull that game off because I didn't think they was going to do it, man. Because you see, when you lose your head coach like that in the middle of the beginning of the season because of some stuff that happened, and he's not able to go out there and make his calls and motivate his team, and then they came out with a win. Great job for Michigan.
Well,
Great
I
job.
just think for Nebraska's sake, I mean, they got rid of Scott Frost. He was a alumni. He played on several really good teams on Nebraska's, played quarterback, and they brought in Matt Rule. I think Matt Rule's a fraud, to be honest with you. I think he's one of the biggest frauds in college football right now. Even when he was able to turn Baylor around, and then he was parlayed that into going to the NFL, to the Carolina Panthers, and then they ended up getting rid of him out of Carolina. Now he's back at Nebraska. He has done nothing at Nebraska that really kind of make anybody happy about thinking about that he's the coach of Nebraska, in my opinion. So this is just my 2 cents on it. I think he's a fraud. Yeah. And Nebraska will find that out in a year or two. I mean, he's made some improvements to that team, but that team isn't right back to where they should be either. It's just like a bunch of other teams, you know?
Well, you got to think about something, DC. It's a cycle of it because, teams have their run 3 or 4 years, and sometimes it's self-inflicted, and sometimes it's just your time to be sitting in the back seat. Look at Dabo. Had a beautiful run. He had anywhere from an 8 to 10 year run,
He
and
did.
now he's getting his butt handed to him. He's out there taking good whoopings now. When he was bragging, he was on the top and he was competing year in and year out. I think it's self-inflicting, but it's still a cycle of teams that's good, teams were superb and superior, and the next thing you know, they go through their glitches for one sort or another. So, and he's happening to go through those glitches because Oklahoma had their run, University of Miami had their run. Look at the
Yep.
Gators. The Gators had their run for a little
That's
while.
right.
Florida
That's
State
right.
had their run.
Notre Dame
Alabama
had their
had their
run.
run.
A whole bunch of them had their
All
runs.
these guys had their run.
Yeah. One thing is for sure, and referring back to Dabo Sweeney, I think he's going to clean house at the end of the year with these coordinators. I want to say Garrett Riley, who's Lincoln Riley's brother, who's the offensive coordinator, he'll be gone. That's just my guesstimate on it. He'll be gone. I believe that there's a chance that the defensive coordinator, he may just get rid of both coordinators and start over again.
Well, I don't know about that, DC. I mean, especially if those guys been around with him when he was winning, they have a sense of loyalty to each other. Most good coaches, they blame themselves when it's not going. They're not going to pass the buck on to the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. He know what his problem is. He's smart enough to know that. And if he starts shoveling off to the line about it's somebody else, he's just, in denial. But I don't think he's in denial. He recognized the fact that it's self-inflicted because he don't want to
Change.
hop
He
on that
doesn't want to
transfer portal. He
adjust.
don't want to.
Right.
So he knows it's his fault. He does a positive run for the Canes there, but he knows it's his fault, man. If you don't take that thing, it's his own fault. And I don't think he's going to can his offensive coordinator or his defensive coordinator behind these losses.
Well, he might get called into the principal's office and they may actually demand he might do. I doubt it. I don't think they're going to force him to do anything like that. But one thing is for sure, they're going to have to make some massive changes at Clemson. And I'm going to leave that at that. I'll just leave it alone. I mean, he's going to have to make some massive changes if he's going to compete in the coming years.
See, I think they respect him enough not to make him do anything like that. And if he do it, it'll be just his own passing the buck on to somebody else. I don't think they'll crunch him and make him pay and just blame it on somebody else, man. I don't. Yeah. Well, the Hurricanes starting to move the ball
And that's a good
little
thing.
bit.
That's a good thing because they need to move the ball. They got to move the ball and then they need to get points. preferably 7 points. And if they get 7 points, they might could seal it because it's at 8 minutes and some change right now. They need to chew up the rest of the clock and get that, like this first down. He just got through, so it's a first down. This is how you win football games. You win football games by taking over the game late in the quarters, especially the fourth quarter when it's getting down to the nitty gritty and to the wire. Looks like they yanked this player's helmet off. I mean, that's a penalty to me.
He asking for a penalty.
Yeah.
He asking for one.
Or somebody pulled it. Yeah, it looks like one of the Florida's defenders just grabbed it and yanked it off. But it's a 1st and 10, so that's a good thing.
Let me see whether it was a face mask that took the helmet off. Oh, no, his knee knocked it off.
Looks like Shannon Dawson is really calling some really good plays right now for Miami, because that was an easy pass for Carson Beck, an easy read, should I say, for him to be able to make a play like that. And they're going with tempo now as well. So it looks like Mark Fletcher just got the first down. This is what they should have done in the third quarter, but I don't care about that. I'm just happy they're doing it now. I'm glad they're doing it now.
They're doing the same thing that Florida was doing to them.
Exactly.
They're calling 2 plays at a time, and they're crunching the clock up, and they're moving the ball down the field. And that's what you do when you're a game winner. You know, you keep these guys off balance. That's what he's doing now. I think it was a great strategy because you show them this stuff in the third quarter, then they'll adjust to it. You can't adjust to it in the fourth quarter.
Oh, wow. Fletcher is toting that high, man. He just got another first down. Mark Fletcher Jr. is toting that high. He really is. And see how the blocking is getting better now for Miami to be able to open up those holes. Look at that. That's a huge hole for him to run through.
Yeah.
And like you said, they got some big hogs up on that front line for Miami. They got a huge offensive line.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's what they've been lacking for the last 7 to 8 years. They didn't have those big, massive linemen on there to move those defenders out of the way. They have them now. And the thing is, too, what I love about it, these guys not big, fat, and sloppy, man. These guys
they're in shape,
man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looks like they moving the ball pretty good. It's 6 minutes and some change. And if they get a 7-point score out of this one, I think Florida won't have an opportunity to get back into this game, I think.
Yeah.
And it's going down to under 6 minutes. And they're milking it. They're running the clock down, which is smart on offense.
Yeah.
Just push them back, get down there, and punch it in on them. That's what they have to do. Looks like he called a timeout. Mario Cristobal just called a timeout. One thing I want to say, and I want to send a shout out to Richard Daniels Jr. And Richard is one of our biggest supporters. Man, I love you to death, bruh. And just we're just so happy that you're supporting what we're doing, because we're bringing the best of the best of sports talk and real talk and current events, all of it put together, and you and Tony Martinez, you guys are constantly supporting us. So I just wanted to get that out there. So cheers out to Richard Daniels Jr., by the way.
Salute, bam.
Yes, sir.
Bam.
Absolutely.
Triple salute. Yeah. Continue to wind this clock out, man, because don't give them no time to get back down and move that ball like they were doing earlier. You know, DC, we got so caught up in this game, I was supposed to stop by and get my jersey, Mike, and chow down while we were watching the game, and the time slipped me by.
That's true.
Unbelievable. So Colorado, is you looking at those scores for the Colorado, see what they're doing?
It looks like Colorado. Let's check some college scores right now as we speak. That's a good idea. And we'll look at some of the games right now as we speak. A lot of times they post up the earlier games and they don't put out the late games because I think USC starts shortly. I thought it started at 5, but it starts 8 o'clock our time out here on the West Coast, which puts the West Coast at a disadvantage of the East Coast watching the game. That's why they weren't able to get a big TV contract because of that at the Pac-12.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looks like we have some comments as well, and let's look at some of these comments. It looks like one of our commenters said that Johnson, the OC from Alcorn State, would be a good hire for Florida. Gators need a new young offensive mind like Lincoln Riley. I agree, totally agree with that. And he said this is a classy live stream, man. I turned one on earlier, and in that 2 seconds, the host was chugging beer and you sing the F-bomb multiple times, laughing out loud. Cheers to you, sir. Cheers to you, the Jesse Colbreath. We appreciate you, bro. We really do. Hunter says, what you guys know about No White Wednesday? That's a good one. FSU is going to beat that ass, according to J. Morris AM. 9 out of 10 games, the Dolphin Stadium is empty. Would you agree with that, Isaiah? Is Florida State gonna get some of that, or what? They gonna get a little bit of that.
They're gonna come back. We gonna go out there and put something on. We're gonna go up there and give them a good whooping.
Well, that's not what this commenter says. So Miami second and 4.
I think this is a wake up call in Miami. This game.
Oh, he just broke through. It looks like Brown is just he's running like a man possessed, just like, oh man, the running backs from Miami have really stepped it up. Mark Fletcher Jr. and Brown, these guys, and Shannon Dawson, you got to give him credit, man. He's calling the right plays.
Great play calling. They got to smash mouth these guys. Come on, they need to plunge this thing in, get this thing in the end zone. And then let the defense go out there and just let their hair down, man. That's what they need to do. Close this game out. And then worry about FSU.
Well, they're going to have a lot of work to do before FSU.
Yeah.
So it looks as though here, Jay Morris said the Hurricanes don't even have a stadium that they could call their home stadium technically. And he said losers. Hey,
they got a stadium. They home right now.
So to this commenter, Jay Morris, Isaiah used to play high school football up in the Panhandle, so he's very familiar with Florida State territory, by the way.
Yeah, well, listen, man. The Hurricanes has never had a stadium. When they was kicking rear end in the 80s, in the 90s, in the 2000s, they ain't had no stadium. They was playing in the Orange Bowl. They never had an on-field campus.
The Orange. Well, I'll beg to differ with that. The Orange Bowl was their home stadium. I mean, even though that was a professional football stadium for the Dolphins, you could say the Orange Bowl was home. That was home sweet home.
Well, this is home for them. The Hard Rock is home for them. This is their home. They don't have enough space down there in Coral Gables to put a facility down there. They don't have enough space on that little bitty school campus down there. They good right where they are right now. I kind of like them being over here in Miami Gardens at the Hard Rock. It was nothing like that Orange Bowl, though. I'm gonna tell you
that Orange Bowl had a mystique. It had a mystique and an aura.
Oh man, it was rusty. It was.
Hey, look, those were bleachers. Noisy. Those were like bleacher seats. We didn't have that stadium. It was nothing fancy about that stadium.
Bleachers, fiberglass bleachers. You had to bring your own cushion to sit down on because your butt would be numb when you get up.
That's right.
Yep. But those was the days, and parking was terrible. Parking was horrendous down there. You couldn't find a parking space anywhere. You had to park in people's yard.
Yes, I remember that. Here's Playmaker. How you think he looking, Isaiah? Playmaker.
He usually look. Like he usually look. And he looking like he looking.
Looks like Florida has an injured player. I hope he's okay. Defensive lineman. a big guy too, man. He's huge.
Ray-Bans on. Man, this guy is a good positive influence on these
Playmakers
guys
got him
too.
fired up. If they punch it in on this one, it's over. They punch it in on
He
this
gonna
one
go.
with 7 points, it's over.
Yeah, playmaker gonna go ballistic
Berserk.
if when they, yeah,
He'll go
there
berserk.
he is. Yeah, he's something else. That program know they got a positive thing going on, allowing him to be on that sideline and
Absolutely.
on their practice, all of that.
Well, he's such an
Because they can
intricate
feel
part
this.
of the University of Miami legacy as a
That's
as
why I'm
a
telling you, Mario.
a, a
First
school
of
and a
all,
football
get
team, the
smart, man.
program itself.
Yep, yep.
I mean, I love when these players come back because they want to help these young people and they want to strive to help these young people be great, just like they were
They
great.
don't want their own legacy in their school to fail, DC. That's
Mm-hmm.
what it is, man. These guys don't want that because they reliving all of this stuff. When you see a talent
Mm-hmm.
on the football field that's going in, who's attending a program that you was a part of for years, that's why they believe that. And
Mm-hmm.
he's dedicating all of his time to go over there and help out these little young men, and it's fun for him.
Mm-hmm.
Just think about it. When you got a guy like Warren Sapp is up in a place like Colorado, giving all of his experience and talent to a school that he never attend. But then here his playmaker is giving all of this stuff back to a school that he attends. So he was trying to
Touchdown.
make sure his school don't fail.
Absolutely. Touchdown, Miami. Game over. And you know what? I'm confident to say this game is over because it's only 4 minutes. Florida would have to score really quick and then get the ball back and score again. I don't see it happening. I really don't see it happening.
Being
But
in the end zone.
getting back to playmaker Michael Irvin, I think it all started with Eddie Brown and Stanley Shakespeare. Do you agree with that?
Yeah,
Eddie Brown
yeah
and
it
Stanley Shakespeare were exceptional bookends on that Miami squad that won the national championship.
yeah.
And they won multiple national
But
championships.
it developed guys like playmaker. That's what
Absolutely,
happened.
because he
Then
patterned his
playmakers
style
develop.
after Eddie Brown and Stanley
Yeah,
Shakespeare
yeah.
for the
And then of course
University of Miami.
and the roller coaster kept going,
Absolutely.
and that's what happened. What are they going to do? Go for two?
I believe they are. And even if they don't get the 2 points, they'll still be all right. I don't think Florida would have to score and then
Twice?
get a field goal to win it.
Yeah, they'll need
They'll
to
need two
score twice.
scores within 4 minutes.
They go a rump in the
Yeah,
back.
he threw it away. Well, one thing is for sure, I think that fourth down stop on the Miami's defense behalf
That
really
was it.
changed the
That was
game.
the turnaround. That flipped the momentum back.
It changed the
That flipped the
momentum back.
momentum.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was high, and
It's okay. All the defense got to do is hold. That's all they got to do.
I think I would just kick the extra point.
Well, if they would have kicked the extra point and Florida would have went down and scored 7 and then came back and scored 3, they would have still won. So either way, I think Miami will be all right if their defense hold up. All they got to do is get a stop, and they get a stop, the game is over.
We gotta get playback on this show, man.
Oh, I'd
That
love to
dude is
have him
so
on here.
handsome.
I met him in
So,
person, so I've had the pleasure and the blessing of meeting him in Los Angeles one time, and he's a down to earth guy, very very simple and easy to talk with and everything. Because I was asking him about Fort Lauderdale, where he went to high school at over there.
yeah, he actually put them on the map. That school has been winning every year since he's been out, since he left that school.
Mm-hmm.
Good, nice school where kids love going to school. It's really nice and safe school. Beautiful program there. It's just throwing these kids out every year. Good, talented kids walking out of there every year. And there's a lot of kids transferring over there too to play for that program. So it's a good thing.
You know, he played for St. Thomas Aquinas.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he did. He played for several. I mean, well, it looks like St. Thomas Aquinas was where he ended up going to Miami, coming out of St. Thomas. So, very familiar with that program. To me, it's more so like a pro program or a college program, more so than a high school program.
Yeah, the defense got to pin their ears back and stop these
Yeah,
guys, man. Now,
they need to stop them and at least hold them to 3 on this one so they can get the ball back. If Florida get down there to get 3.
they just got one timeout left. Get him. He out of bounds to stop the clock. And there's no time came off.
It's ticking now. It's down to 3 minutes and a half. Yeah, they got Lagway on the ground. It's a sack. That's Jason Taylor. Here we go. That's what I was talking about. Another Miami Dolphin player that came back to the school. He's a defensive line coach. I mean, at least he coaches those guys, and Ruben Bain and all of them. They got Lagway on the ground. This is going to chew up a bunch of clock for Florida. It's down to 3 minutes, almost 3 minutes. So they're not. I don't see him pulling out of this one. Lagway is running for his life, and he overthrew his player. So, you know, it's another team on the schedule other than Florida State that I think Miami's going to have to be really prepared for is going to be Georgia Tech. Would you say so?
Yeah, I think they could beat Georgia Tech. If they can if they play consistent, hard-nosed, smash-mouth ball, they'll beat Georgia Tech. Because overall, Miami don't make no whole lot of mistakes. I think early part of this particular game, by it being wet, they missed some balls that they would normally miss. And I think I can kind of contribute that to the moisture of the football in the field and all that type of stuff. So I think they'll beat Georgia Tech. Lagway is running for his dear life.
You know, it's another one, too, is Syracuse is going to be coming to town as well. I'm looking at Syracuse. I'm looking at... Well, Rhett Lashley is going to be at SMU. SMU will be at home. They got to go to Dallas to play SMU. So they play Florida State next week. Then Louisville comes to town thereafter, a week after. And then Stanford comes to Miami. And then Miami goes to SMU. Syracuse comes to Miami. NC State comes to Miami. I don't think they play Georgia Tech, so they may end up facing off against Georgia Tech in the ACC championship, possibly, right?
Yeah, could be.
You know what? Billy Napier deserves a lot of credit tonight, and I'm not making excuses for him, but if the Florida faithful want to see him go, I mean, I don't think it's fair to him because his team played their butts off tonight, I think. I mean, I think they stepped up their game.
Absolutely.
They just didn't have what it took to finish the game out. That's all.
This was never a blowout. They haven't gotten blown out.
Mm-hmm. So I think they should at least give him the rest of the year and not try to, 06 him out of there anytime sooner.
Sure hope they don't.
I don't think he'll come back at the end of the season, but they should give him the privilege to be able to coach the team the rest of the year. I like Billy Napier. He's a damn good coach. He coached at a HBCU, like I told you before. And he relates with these kids. I mean, these kids play for him. They play hard for him. There's a lot of coaches can't relate like he can. And Cristobal and a lot of other coaches, Coach Prime and all of those coaches.
Well, it's just a phase that these kids are going through and his team is going through in particular. And he's not trending right now. Florida, like we've said before, they had their run.
They did.
And it's looking like he's not a good coach and he's not in command of the team. But in my opinion, I think he is. He's got these kids playing hard, man. They're not getting blown out. They're not making costly mistakes because just think about last week where his quarterback threw 5 interceptions. He hadn't thrown an interception today, and he played well. They just got beat.
That's
And,
true.
and it's not like they're really getting out coached either. Miami just beating these guys, man, and I think they're going to score another
Well,
touchdown on them.
Mark Fletcher just
But,
ran. He's a big boy. He just had a big boy run on this one. Looks like a Miami
mhm.
offensive lineman is down. But Mark Fletcher had a big boy run, and those offensive linemen was able to get him almost to the goal line just on pushing him forward, you know?
Yeah.
Samson Okunloa, 6'6", 300 pounds.
Yeah, they 300 pound across. 300 pounds is skinny now, man.
Mm-hmm.
300 pounds
Oh,
is
for
skinny
sure.
now, man.
For
These
sure.
guys freaking 340, 350, man. You come in at 300
Absolutely.
pounds, get them skinny behind out here, man. Shoot,
So
unbelievable,
Fran Brown
man.
for Syracuse, what he was able to do and come in and put Syracuse in the position that they're in now. As we know, Syracuse is a school out in the countryside outside of upstate New York. You know, the Buffalo area, all up in there. Syracuse is a very notable school because Jim Brown went to Syracuse. He played for Syracuse. And Syracuse has had some really good players come out of there. Marvin Harrison Jr., Donovan McNabb. I mean, I can name several of really talented players. But for Fran Brown to go up there and turn that program when Dino Babers couldn't turn it, I mean, I'm impressed. I am very impressed with Fran Brown.
Yeah, this is a very, very good win for the Miami Hurricanes, man.
He
Even
just
though you
scored.
think
Did he
that,
score? Or is he on the ground? Yeah, he's on the ground at the one. He was down. I thought they was able to shove him in. At least Mario Cristobal, he'll be able to him and Shannon Dawson. They'll have to game plan for Florida State next week because when they go up to Tallahassee at Doak Walker Stadium, man, it's gonna be a showdown because you know Florida State
man, it's
play
a
hard up there
wow.
anyway.
Oh man, they play hard anywhere, but boy, that stadium be rocking, man.
Yeah,
That stadium be rocking, and they got some freaking people, and their folks, those alumni, are always there. And I got a bunch of freaking classmates, and they just die hard. God, they call me and mess with me and harass me all the time, especially when the Canes was losing. Man, they be rubbing that thing in my face. I still got bruises
still
from
got
those,
bruises
man.
from that one, huh?
Yes, man. They hardcore, man. They hardcore. But they was quiet last year, though. I couldn't get none of them to talk last year, man. Woo, boy, it was quiet.
So let me
Mm.
ask you this, Isaiah. How's your high school team doing from up there, Niceville High School?
They lost one game so far.
Mm-hmm.
They lost one game because they changed coaches. Remember, the head coach, he stepped down. I don't know whether he had health issues or family matters or whatever the case may be, but they hired a coach out of Georgia to be the head coach. So I gotta make some phone calls and see what's going on. But I know they lost one game so far. They At
Awesome.
this time they usually be undefeated, but I think they went down one game. Yeah,
Well, that's good. I mean, because that program is really solid as well. From what I've seen over the past 10 years,
yeah.
that they have a good program up there. And one of
Great
your
school.
classmates, Atron, is his name Atron?
Yes, he's the offensive coordinator. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a solid brother too. Atron is solid.
yeah,
We wish that brother well, and you continue to do well at that level because there's going to be other opportunities for you coming along at some point in time for you to have your own program as a head coach one day.
amazing father. Yeah, amazing father, husband, beautiful human being. I love him to death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, look like the Hurricanes gonna close this game out, and I can talk crap to a couple of my buddies that's
Well, we could all
leaders.
breathe easier because, I mean,
Yeah.
we didn't want to see
I wasn't
anything any
breathing that
different,
easy,
right?
man. I wasn't breathing that easy, man. With them 13 points, I wasn't cool with it. Wasn't solid on those 13 points, man. Those 13 points can dwindle real rapidly. 2 touchdowns, you're out of gas with 13 points. Just
Right.
not ever comfortable with them 13 points, man. It's almost like you punishing yourself to come away with 13 points. 2 touchdowns, you're looking in the losing column. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a message out. I want to send a message out to Uncle Luke down in Miami. Luther Campbell. Luke Skywalker. He used to call himself that, and then he changed it to Luke. Uncle Luke. We want you on this show, bro. We want you on this show. So anytime you can get to this show, we want you here. We know you're the head coach over at Miami Edison High School, and we have mad love for you and your program over there. So stop by and just say hello to us here. We're waiting on you.
I'll give him a shout, man, and see what his schedule look like and get him on, man, because Luke is doing well over there. And Luke always got this thing say, man, why not Edison?
Why not?
You
Why
know,
not Edison?
Luke is a good tribute to the community, man. He's got a street named after him now. You know, I was down there when they put his name out there on the streets of Liberty City, and he did do so much for the community and help these young men become young men because I think he felt like this is a duty of his to give back, and he's been doing the right thing. A lot of political leaders love him, and they
Mm-hmm.
adore his contribution to the community, and I think that's all to be commended. Yeah,
Absolutely. I know you were at his unveiling of his street. So they named a street after him, and you were there, and you had a chance to mingle with him and everything. You're mingling with the big dogs, man. I'm trying to
it's
catch
so
up to
fun
you.
to
You
see these
know,
guys come out.
you've met with
No,
Coach
but
Cristobal and everything, so you're a very busy man down there in Miami, if
yeah,
I may say
I
so.
love to see the guys. Yeah, I love to see the guys come down and pay homage to the community and in the schools and help out these young kids because that can mean something to these children. They can go the right path because you said something nice to them or showed them there's a good way instead of taking that turn to the wrong side of it. Because there's so
Absolutely,
many different things can happen to young kids, and when they don't have any guidance, and when you have someone to go out and show you there is a better way, it is a plus. And I love it when I see someone of that stature who would come in and let these kids know this is the path to take. This is the route to go because you don't have to be a lawyer or a doctor. You can go out and be a plumber. There's nothing wrong with it. An electrician or carpenter, a brick mason, and all this stuff can make you a decent living. And
absolutely,
and kids need to know that. Yeah.
absolutely. I know you were working with this charter school with Antrell Roll and Kenny what's his last name?
Phillips. Kenny
Kenny
Phillips.
Phillips, both ex
Yeah.
Miami players at University of Miami players, and you spoke to a class of children the other day. We appreciate you
Man, it was
doing
amazing.
that because that makes a difference. Those
Yeah,
kids,
thanks,
they
Bob.
look up to guys like you know,
Well, the
and
thing is, it was beautiful because, when you got kids that don't have that foundation and kids that need some guidance, and when they don't have both their parents, I've seen it so many times, DC. You and I see that. We grew up together where, the kids didn't have that father figure home, and they get led by the street and they take that wrong path and start to get in trouble. And next thing you know, they get in the system and they can never rebound from it. But when you can tell these kids something positive and lead them to the right direction, and next thing you know, you might have a president or a
or a
doctor or
doctor
even
or a
lawyer.
lawyer or
Yeah,
anything. I mean, anybody that's going to be a professional,
mhm.
you know.
Yep. And there is a pilot that spoke that day on Friday, and it was amazing to hear him talk where he came from and how he got into the field, and the kids were so interested in hearing about it. So you never know who you can reach by coming and speak to these kids.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So it looks like there's a minute and a half left, and Florida's got the ball, 26-7. Miami will coast to victory tonight, and this is kind of one of them situations where they know they're going to have to play better next week. There's, without a doubt, no question about it. They're going to have to show up to Florida State, show up ready to play, and ready to take the field. Because if they don't, it may be a different outcome than tonight. Because I'm going to just tell you, Tommy Castellanos for Florida State, he is a dynamic quarterback, and he can run with it. He's going to use his legs more than Lagway did tonight. I can promise you that.
Well, if they cut his lanes off, you can only run so much. Cut his lanes off and put that pressure on him, and he would start having to get rid of that ball faster than he had anticipated. So that's the best way to be when you got a running quarterback.
Absolutely.
It's not like they don't know how a running quarterback can do damage, but they'll be prepared for him. I guarantee you they'll be prepared.
All righty.
This still was a competitive game until the very end.
Oh, for sure. And I'm so happy it was, because I knew Florida wasn't going to come in and just lay down. I mean, they weren't going to lay down because they didn't lay down against LSU last week. So let me ask you this. The question is this. Could you make an assessment now on who you think is going to go number one as a quarterback in next year's draft? Because I was reading something today that said that they, according to NFL execs and NFL, insiders, there was going to be, several quarterbacks that's going to be looked at as being the 1 and 2 quarterback. Would you think it's too short of a season to do that right now? When you think?
Yeah, much too early. You're much too early. Much too early. This is only the fourth game we're playing. This is actually the fourth game of this season right now. Some of them started a tad early, but give or take, it's the third and fourth week. You don't really start trying to calculate those things until at least the 6th or 7th week.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because all the softball schools, they done got rid of all the softball school. Like almost every major club, Division I, have a softball team to play throughout, and they run the scores up on these softball teams. So they have all those out of the way, and they start playing these hard-nosed teams. So I think 6 or 7, at least 6, 7, 8 games, then you can start kind of evaluate who's going to be a Heisman Trophy and all that, because portions of the season is already passed. Right now, it's so early. I mean, these guys don't even have a good rhythm going on with their teams yet. So
that's what I was thinking along the same lines, because they have Lanaris Sellers, who's the quarterback for South Carolina. He's a dynamic quarterback. They got him slated as number 1, and Garrett Nussmeier from LSU is number 2, or it could be flipped back opposite. Garrett Nussmeier could be number 1, and Lanaris Sellers could be number 2. I just thought it was a little premature that they want to make at least bring the NFL into this, and they are looking at certain stats and certain data and all of that stuff. I think is shameful, but I mean, they make decisions based on, I guess, what they think is best. I would say so. So another name.
Just trying to get something to talk about, DC.
Yeah, I think so too.
Just trying to get something to talk about. Yeah.
So it looks like another name in this coaching carousel that I saw in social media yesterday is Coach O. And Coach O has been kind of like mentioned around UCLA because, he spent a lot of time out here in Southern California as coaching for USC. But most people don't know Coach O was with the University of Miami. He was on the defensive line, working with the defensive line at University of Miami before he even got to USC. So you think he would be a good fit for UCLA?
I don't know, but I think he's, I would give him an opportunity to get back in the coaching period, because he's been out for 4 or 5 years now. I would love to see him. I would rather see him than Gruden coach college football. I would rather see Coach O before I give Gruden a job, because at least Coach O has won championships. He's been around in the collegiate level. Gruden has just been talking a bunch of crap. He
Mm-hmm.
hadn't coached no high school. I mean, collegiate football. So Coach O is a proven winner, and I just love the way he interact with these kids too, man. Because I watched him when he was at LSU, and man, just the chemistry he had with these children and their parents and all of this stuff, and it just really made of a man who know how to deal with these these young adults who's getting ready to go into adulthood, because he was like more of a father figure to
Mm-hmm.
these kids, and they loved him and they played hard for him. Things just didn't work out, and it was one of the things that we discussed earlier about what have you done for me lately. The guy won
Everything
a
is what
championship,
have you done for me lately?
yeah,
Yeah.
come back in another couple of years and he don't even have a job. It's like I was shocked when they fired him, because I felt like you got a guy who build a program, win a championship, bump his head, and then you kick him out the door. It was like didn't give him a chance to rebound. You give a guy a chance to straighten things up before you kick him out the door. I mean, he had a really good thing going on there. He had this swag about him, and the Gold Tigers, with this crispy,
Mm-hmm.
rosy voice of his, and it caught on. And next thing you know, boom, out of there.
Well, there was allegations, and I don't know if there's any truth to any of these allegations, that he basically had lost oversight of the team. In other words, he wasn't overseeing the team like he was supposed to, according to some of the reports that came out. That he was kind of letting them loosely do things that he might have not have should have let him do. I'm not sure. These are all allegations, so I can only say what I've read already. So, hopefully he'll get another opportunity, because I think he's qualified for it. Just like you said, he's very qualified to do it, and he can recruit. He's one of the best recruiters in college. I mean, at least he used to be, especially when he was at SC. I used to see him at LAX going on recruiting trips. He would come through Terminal 5 where I worked at, and he was able to, bring some really good players in at SC, and he did the same thing at LSU when he won that national championship with Joe Burrow and all those guys, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, all them guys, man. He had super good talent on that LSU squad. So, anyway.
Those guys were crazy about him, man. And
Yeah.
they feel like they're
All his players loved him. I mean, they all was crazy about Coach O. And I think he was a dynamic coach in a lot of ways. But I think it's going to take more than just a basic effort to turn UCLA around. UCLA is going to be a hard program to turn around, I think, because the culture has lagged so long. They have lost an identity. That school football program doesn't have really an identity, and Chip Kelly certainly didn't bring one when he was there. And then he bailed out, and Deshaun Foster was able to they slotted him in. They really I think Deshaun Foster was kind of set up to fail in a lot of ways, in my personal opinion. But
I'm just thinking about something, man. Did Coach O fill in for Les Miles? Because wasn't he an interim head coach for LSU when Les Miles
he was
left?
an interim head coach for USC when USC fired Lane Kiffin. I think when USC let Lane Kiffin go, I think Coach O was the interim coach. They should have gave him the job at USC at that time. He should have been he should have been hired as the permanent coach.
I'm only saying this to say, I remember Burrow was lobbying for him to get like an extension on his contract or something like that. This is when he was at LSU.
Well, Les Miles was let go, remember? Because Les Miles, there was a scandal with one of the students, and they let him go. And then they turned around, and Coach O was already on the staff, and they just they interviewed and gave Coach O the job, which was well deserved, I think, personally.
That's the point I'm making.
Yeah.
That's the point I was asking you. You jumped over to something else, but what I'm saying, Joe Burrow was one of them guys lobbying for Coach O to get the job after Les Miles left.
Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, all of them lobbied for Coach O to get that job. You know?
Right.
And Coach O would be another one we would love to have on this show. So go Tigers. Coach O, come on the
Yeah.
show. We want you here. Yeah, so we
Colorado is up 7-0 on Wyoming.
Yeah, that'll be a good game. And, I'm going to watch the USC. I think it just came on versus Michigan State. That's a big game. That's a Big Ten conference game. So both these teams going to be fighting hard. So we enjoyed tonight on a Saturday night. Me and my nearest and dearest to heart. We were 4-year-old children running around with no shirts on. And we're in our late 50s pushing up on the time. And we're doing our own podcast. So we couldn't have dreamt of a better situation where we are now to where we were then as little children. I'm so happy we did this show tonight. We had such a great time. The University of Miami won this game, and they won it handily after they stopped Florida on that 4th down. So let me put my University of Miami. It's all about the U. We put it up there.
Yes.
So we will be doing some more follow-ups on Monday. We're going to have a weekend recap, and Isaiah will be covering some NFL games tomorrow. And it looks like the Dolphins, they played hard against Buffalo on Thursday night. So it wasn't like they just got run over and stamped out. So we'll be talking a little bit about that, and we're going to be talking about some of the high school play as well. So I'm going to have my kinfolk Isaiah close this thing out, and we'll do it again.
What a big, beautiful segment, everybody. Thank you guys for watching us, taking the time on a beautiful Saturday night. My Canes did their thing. I was hoping they would win big, and they did it. And, shouts out to the Gators that they came in here. They didn't let down. They played their hearts out. They played some parts of the game mistake-free football, and they gave us a challenge. And I really commend their coaching staff to come down here in this wet field and play a good game and entertain us. So, but my whole thing is, remember the ones that you care for, the one that you love. Don't be hesitant to tell them, I love you. I care for you. And if you're near them, give them a nice, firm hug, and, because we don't know how long we'll be around. So make sure you keep that entrenched in their mind that you care for them. So have a blessed week, and we'll speak Monday.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So we close this DC Stewart Show podcast out after a beautiful 3 hours of covering the Miami versus Florida. We'll be set up for the Florida State game next week. That one's going to even be more exciting when Miami goes up to Tallahassee to play in Doak Walker Stadium. And we'll see you again soon. Take care of yourself before you take care of others. Make sure that you're looking out for everyone and help people. I always tell you, help people. They might not even ask you to help them, but at least extend your, kindness and ask, can you help someone if you see them in need? So we'll do it again. Take care of yourself. Peace, love, and prosperity. Thank you. See you soon.